In the 90s, thank God for Pantera.
You've created like several chapters of music history.
You don't live in the past.
Nah, if you live in the past, you have no future.
MTV hated us.
Trash!
Radio wouldn't play us.
Hell yeah!
We had no media coverage, and 200,000 people went out and bought the record and made it #1.
Vincent Paul Abbott, better known as Vinnie Paul, was a founding member of Pantera, one of the most iconic metal bands of all time. Vinnie's ultra-deep pocket, laid-back southern feel, and crushingly heavy drum parts are immediately recognizable. Pantera's record Far Beyond Driven is one of the heaviest albums to ever hit #1 on the Billboard charts. Beyond Pantera, Vinnie also played in bands like Damage Plan, Rebel Meets Rebel, and the supergroup Hell Yeah. In this video, we are going to dive into the genius of Vinnie Paul. When I think about Vinnie's drumming, what comes to mind is relentless and intense grooves and an enormous tom sound, lots of double bass drenched in feel. A perfect example of this is in Primal Concrete Sledge from the album Cowboys from Hell. Check out this clip of Vinnie playing this drum part by itself for a promo video he did for D-Drum. A similar feel can be heard in Use My Third Arm, where Vinnie accents along with the guitars on his largest rack tom in between offbeat hi-hat shots and unwavering double kick. Now, Vinnie doesn't need to haul double kicks to make you headbang. Good luck sitting still during the chorus of Drag the Waters. Another great example of a heavy yet simple single pedal groove is in the track Shedding Skin. In the track Slaughtered from Far Beyond Driven, Vinnie uses a double paradiddle to create a relentlessly syncopated feel with a little bit of double kick in and out of the shot. Speaking of syncopation, Vinnie can do a lot using only singles. Check out this groovy tom pattern punctuated with accents and roughs. Following the death of his brother Dimebag Darrell and an 18-month hiatus from music, Vinnie returned to form the supergroup Hell Yeah.
These dudes started calling me and saying, hey man, what do you think about playing in a band? And I was like, man, it sounds cool, but I don't know if I'm ready to do this yet or not, you know? And they kept calling me and caught me one night when I'd been drinking some red wine and listening to some Kiss, and I went, you know what? I think it's time, man. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens.
In the song One Thing, he drives the band with kick bursts in 2 different subdivisions, 16th triplets into straight 16th notes for a uniquely crushing feel. Now, before we move on, I just want to take a second to let you know that we have songs from Pantera and so many other iconic metal bands inside of Drumeo. And you can get full note-for-note transcriptions so you know exactly what Vinnie was playing. Let's move on to Vinnie's genius use of space in his grooves. So far, we've been focusing on moments where Vinnie is playing a lot of notes. Now, let's dive into his ability to create driving feels with tons of space. This first clip is from his band Damage Plan, which was formed following the breakup of Pantera. Check out this massive groove from the song Moment of Truth. Now, if you thought that felt huge, check out the end to Domination. And yet somehow, in the track This Love, it gets even bigger. Now check out how Vinnie lays down an incredibly simple but powerful groove over Dimebag's riff that's grouped in threes from the song I'm Broken. In this next clip of Floods, we again hear Vinnie holding down an incredibly minimal groove that drives this track perfectly. It's not just his grooves that set Vinnie apart. There are several moments where Vinnie's fills are just as integral to the song as Dimebag's guitar riffs, like in the iconic drum parts from the chorus section of Walk, one of Pantera's biggest hits from the Vulgar Display of Power record. It's not always about big licks. Sometimes something as simple as pushing a shot that's normally on the beat to off the beat can have an enormous impact. We hear a great example of this near the end of 5 Minutes Alone. In Hell Yeah's Drink, Drank, Drunk, Vinnie takes a 4-bar drum break during the end of the guitar solo that launches the song into its final chorus. The intro for Matter of Time by Hell Yeah is classic Vinnie, with a relentlessly shredding tom and kick pattern that explodes into a super driving groove for the verses. Say When by Hell Yeah opens up like a freight train. This pattern features cleverly phrased double kicks that Vinnie then expands into an absolutely hyper-feeling verse groove. After an album like Far Beyond Driven, nobody would have expected Pantera to get even more intense. But that's exactly what happened with the Great Southern Trendkill. And Vinnie matched that intensity from behind the kit note for note. Let's check out a couple of sections that absolutely tear your face off. This hyper skank beat feel makes another appearance on Far Beyond Driven's Strength Beyond Strength. In this song, the beat flips from being phrased normally to being phrased with the snare on the beat for an interesting interplay between the parts. Vinnie's intensity doesn't just come from sheer speed. One of the most intense double kick patterns of the mid-90s is on Becoming. Here, Vinnie plays an intricate pattern with doubles on his right foot to add triplets into this insane broken double kick pattern. In the track Domination, Vinnie drives the band with a medium-tempo double kick groove and a syncopated pattern on the ride bell. With a kick pattern similar to what we heard earlier in Hell Yeah's Say When, Damage Plan's Newfound Power features an incredibly frantic-sounding groove in the chorus. The coolest part about this groove is that it's deceptively simple, with the kicks spread out cleverly between his ride and snare notes so that it sounds relentless without having to expend a ton of energy to actually play it physically. While Vinnie was perhaps known for his powerful sound and incredible feel, he was just as capable of building technically challenging and creatively unique drum parts. One of my favorite 7/8 grooves in metal comes from Pantera's I'm Broken, where Vinnie uses 2 different length hi-hat open notes to create the rhythms. It gets even more interesting when he starts adding short roughs on the hi-hats after the snare drum in verse 2. A great example of Vinnie's rhythmic cleverness comes from the track 13 Steps to Nowhere from Pantera's The Great Southern Trendkill, where they punctuate the chorus with 13 shots. This extends the time signature to 5/4 for extra impact and a bit of tension as they kick back into the main groove. One of Vinnie's tricks in his rhythmic arsenal is beat displacement, which we first hear from him in the track 5 Minutes Alone. The verses of the song are in 4/4 time, which is clear when you focus on the guitar line. On top of this, Vinnie plays on the offbeat shots for a single bar where he flips the beat onto the ands. And he plays it so convincingly that even knowing exactly what's happening, it can easily pull your ear into hearing it as a bar of 9/8 and a bar of 7/8.
I see you had your mind on made up. You grew from pitiful lives. Before I walk to face the day, your master plan transpired. Something told me this job has brought me the eye. I see you had your mind on made up. You grew from pitiful lives. Before I walk to face the day, your master plan transpired. Something told me this job has brought me the eye.
Vinnie also uses this technique in Hell Yeah's Matter of Time, where he pushes the beat back and forth in a 2-bar phrase. In the song Pole Rider by Hell Yeah, Vinnie brings some unusual sounds to the table, featuring a cowbell and a vibra slap within his groove. The pre-chorus and Damage Plan's Wake Up is a particularly unusual beat. Throwing his accents off from the quarter note really makes the chorus kick in hard when they finally get there. You better wake up, 'cause you know it's alive. You think that you better be, you better wake up. All right, well that is gonna wrap it up for the genius of Vinnie Paul. Hopefully you enjoyed this deep dive into Vinnie's playing, the founding father of groove metal. He's been a huge inspiration to myself and countless other drummers. There's no way we could have fit all the incredible grooves and musical moments that he's created in this one video, so I encourage you to dive deep into his discography and check out any of his albums that you may have missed. They all have some really tasty gems on them. Now, before you go, make sure you leave a comment below and let me know what's one thing that you've learned from listening to Vinnie Paul. I'm Aaron Edgar. Thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you inside the next one. Later.